Big news just dropped concerning the Washington Commanders backfield. We're going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about Jacory Croskey-Merritt, his prospect profile. We're going to do a deep dive on him. But before we dig in, though, you need to click that subscribe button right now. When news drops, we're going to be here with a You Need video. We're also going to help you set your lineups, find gems off the waiver wire, and we're going to have player rankings throughout the season. Click that button. Stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching. You do not want to disappoint Ric Flair. But Brian Robinson is being shopped right now. Could he be gone? Could he be staying? We don't know. But the former third-round pick from Alabama is entering his final year of his contract. And they're shopping him. They're shopping him. So, of course, that means they're holding Jacory Croskey-Merritt in high regards. Because you're not shopping him, if this is true, which should be true. It's from Schultz. Usually his stuff's true. But if they're shopping him, that means they're feeling good about Croskey-Merritt, and they're seeing what they can get out of him. But that does not mean he'll be gone. But that's a big deal because this reminds us of the Alfred Morris situation for this team back in the day. As you were hearing news from this late round pick, you saw some clips, you saw some highlights from preseason, you kept hearing about him, then all of a sudden, bam, he started hitting you. And Alfred Morris was a fun cat. He drove that old car no matter what, no matter how much money he made. But Jacory Croskey-Merritt is the guy we're paying attention to today. He's got some fun tape. Whether it's in practice or back in college, this running back slick with good vision, very patient, moves laterally very well, and great in the second level. That's also very explosive. That's evident in the preseason games. And the Commanders are saying, hey, this is a running back that we might be hitching our wagon to if we can get this deal done. And he was a 0-star prospect. 24/7 Sports didn't really know who he was. He was so far down there. So he climbed his way up here from the bottom, going to Alabama State, then going to New Mexico and balling out, then going to Arizona, but wasn't eligible. But we were a big-time prospect, 1,100 yards, 17 touchdowns. Didn't get much work in the passing game, but we can't catch the ball out of the backfield. We see that in the clips, and we're getting yards after contact per attempt, 3.92, 3.98, 3.15, 3.24 on his career. This is a running back that's very slick in the hole, though. You see that. You see that with the patience, the wiggle, the vision. It's evident in camp. I got all the training camp clips. They're right here on the channel. I think I just posted one the other day. This is a running back that we've been monitoring, and every time I hear about the Washington Commanders, and it should be about Terry McLaurin, Jaden Daniels on his year 2, this storyline, that storyline, he gets brought up. He still keeps getting brought up, and they got a lot of storylines to look at, and he was dominant. He was dominant. He has 2 200-yard games in college. Utah State, Fresno State. I get it. You can question the competition and everything like that. But we went from 0-star to 7th-round pick, and now we're lighting things up to potentially the starting running back. Gone. Off the team. He had eligibility issues at Arizona. Could not get a full season out of him. Due to a redshirt incident at Alabama State. But we went to the Shrine game anyways. And we balled out in practice. We talked about this. We talked about Jacory Croskey-Merritt. That's why you need to hit that subscribe button. We don't stop. We look at all the all-star games. We're looking at high school recruits. We're looking deep into college football, the NFL draft. We're doing 7-round mock drafts. We're looking at all the prospects, offensive line, defensive line, all of it. This isn't a fantasy football creator that just stops or just talks about wide receivers and running backs all day. We look at everything so we can learn more. We learn and then we share. We learn and share. That's it. I learn and I share. And Jacory Croskey-Merritt, you just look at the tea leaves here. Odds are supposed to be stacked against him, but he got drafted to a depth chart that was not ambiguous, but you kind of looked at Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler as potential for a running back to really insert themselves in and possibly usurp. And we're starting to see that. And we saw that after the draft. We saw the talent in the Shrine game. We saw it on the tape, the highlights, whatever. Good size, adjusted athleticism. It's all there. We saw little bits throughout the offseason. This is another clue that he's about to go blast off. Austin Eckler, if Brian Robinson doesn't get shipped off, would be the running back sharing the backfield with him, which is fine. Satellite back, getting some opportunities with him. I don't expect Jacory Croskey-Merritt to be naked out there by himself getting all the touches anyways. Jeremy McNichols had some run last year. We'll cover those numbers as well. Brian Robinson Jr., he's dispensable. They can get rid of him. Expensible. But you're looking at Austin Eckler. He got some work last year. 367 yards, almost 5 yards per carry. In and out of lineup a little bit. Got you 2 RB1 weeks. Caught 35 balls. Sharing the backfield. Got some work. Can help this team, especially on a football standpoint. Maybe up and down fantasy football standpoint, but he's cheap. If Brian Robinson stays, then they're going to have that cog up the gut. He's more of a butt rock running back. He's the nickel back of running backs where you just turn him on and he's there, but you're not excited. It's just background noise. That's pretty much Brian Robinson right now. He'll get you a couple RB1 weeks, some RB2 weeks. He'll get you good production. Nickel back will be all right on the radio, but you're like not turning it on when the girl's around. You're not doing that. You're not turning it on when you're trying to max out on deadlifts. But it's there. It's okay. It's fine. Brian Robinson, that's pretty much what you're getting here. You're looking at stats here. Definitely see why they're shopping him around. Definitely see why they're excited about fresh blood into the system here. They don't have a 1,000-yard rusher. 4.3 yards per carry on 187 carries. Brian Robinson Jr. Austin Eckler in and out of lineup. 4.8 yards per carry, 367 yards. Jeremy McNichols had a couple spike weeks last year that came out of nowhere, but was a guy that you could have picked up in fantasy last year, especially in daily fantasy football. That made more sense. Hard for lineups, but he was getting touches around the red zone. They liked him. Chris Rodriguez, banger back. And you're looking at Jacory Croskey-Merritt here. He's cheap. The price keeps increasing throughout the weeks. A few weeks ago, he wasn't even getting drafted. Then he was like the last pick in drafts on ADP on this chart. Now he's into the 15th round. He's going up from here. He's going, you might as well insert him in 14th, 13th, 12th round now. People are going to pull up on him. Austin Eckler's right next to him. And you look at the ADP chart, and Austin Eckler is getting usurped by Jacory Croskey-Merritt by the market. People are saying, I'm going to put my money down here, and I'm going to go Jacory Croskey-Merritt above Austin Eckler when I make my bets. That's what they're saying here with the ADP. That's happening, and that's just going to go past that. When you look at Brian Robinson Jr., you want to see if he actually is sold. You also want to see if he stays with the team. Also, you want to see how the market reacts. There's a lot to look at here. Brian Robinson Jr. could stay here, but Jacory Croskey-Merritt, no matter what's on the climb, he's on the climb, and a lot of you guys are drafting right now with your buddies, and a lot of your buddies aren't watching my channel, and a lot of your buddies aren't as attuned to the media or to Twitter or what's dropping on a drop of a dime like everybody else, but people are putting money on him. That's what that says. That's not my thought process. People are putting money on him. So you get what I'm saying here. You're getting what people are saying here with their money. A lot of people, thousands. So you want the upside talent on the cheap right now. You want to see what that could lead to. This team can be very explosive. Jaden Daniels is good. We all know that. No one's going to argue against that. This team can move the football. They get Terry McLaurin back. They deal Brian Robinson Jr. Oh, they're trying to make room. They're trying to get some room for that contract or something. Maybe. I don't know. That's off the top of the head. I could be wrong. But Terry McLaurin is probably going to be back out there stretching the field. They got Debo. Jacory Croskey-Merritt's going to get some touches. He was getting touches over McNichols in preseason. That's highly noted. He's been looking good. Brian Robinson Jr. is now dispensable. Maybe they can get rid of him. Expensible, however you say it. But there's rookie risk. He's still a rookie. There could be a ramp up. They could just split the backfield. There's still risk there. But at the price, even in home league drafts, it's marginal. Especially if this trade does not get done until a little bit later, like right before the season or something like that. Like after your draft is what I'm saying. And if that happens, that marginalizes the risk. Because people in home league drafts, not underdog, but home league drafts, like Marge from Accounting at Work or Bubba at the Bar, they're not going to take advantage of that risk or pay up for it. They're going to try and get it at cost or cheap or free, maybe even fall out of your league and go undrafted in home league drafts because those drafters sometimes aren't in the know of the prospects at preseason. It really depends on who you're drafting with. And you may be saying, not in my league, pal. As you get sometimes when you're doing the waiver wire contact and you're just trying to hit on everybody in the video. Not in my league, pal. What is this, an 8-team league? Yeah, I get it. But still, price is different, league to league. You always kick the tires. But if you're drafting now, and you're in double-digit rounds, people draft him in anyways. People are picking him up anyways. People are putting money down on Jacory Croskey-Merritt. And he's showing the upside. He's showing it on the tape. And I'm saying you need a lottery ticket, and you should have at least 1 or 2 on your roster this year, especially this year. Listen to me this year. If any year you listen to me about this process, it's this year. We have about 20 running backs from this year's rookie draft class, NFL draft class, that could go off on the drop of a hat anytime for fantasy football. Last year, 3, 4, 5. One didn't have an ACL. Trey Benson behind Connor. Blake Corn behind Kyron. Bucky hit. Tyrone hit. Not too many hitters. It was a weaker class. This one you got about 20. About 20. 18, 20, whatever. We'll just call it 20. And you want to have at least 1 or 2 from those double-digit rounds. Just sitting there. Switching them out throughout the season from the waiver wire. If one's starting to get more snaps, targets, whatever, routes, pick them up. And we're going to be analyzing that every single day. See whether or not you need to pick up those players. Talking about the trends and all that. That's why you need to hit that subscribe button right now. Because we're going to keep you in the loop of those advanced analytics. Looking at that every day. Dropping videos like this when news hits. Or a trend starts popping off. Like Jerick McKinnon. We called Jerick McKinnon out a couple weeks prior. Because he was starting to run more routes. And it was going up like 10 routes each week. Or something like that. And sometimes you're too early. Sometimes it doesn't manifest. But if you have that open slot on your bench, you can capitalize. And this is a good spot or a good player for that open spot on your bench. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.